On Campus is brought to you by the UWI Mona, inspiring excellence, producing leaders. On Campus, a weekly look at what's happening on the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies. On campus today, the spotlight is on the 2022 International Joint Conference of the Society for Economic Botany and the International Society of Ethnobiology. There's our regular campus calendar, but first, UE News. The UWI Mona's Faculty of Science and Technology, in partnership with Addis Coda Incorporated, the Caring Hands of Rastafari Foundation, and members of the diaspora employed by Google, will be hosting the Jam Coders Summer Camp from July 4 to 29. The summer camp is being coordinated by the UWI Mona's Dr. Daniel Fokum, Senior Lecturer in Computer Science in the Department of Computing in the Faculty of Science and Technology, and Professor Jelani Nelson, Professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences at the University of California, Berkeley, and founder of Addis Coda Incorporated. The camp is fully residential and will be accommodating 50 students from across the island. All students will be accommodated on the UWI Mona campus. For more information on the Jam Coders Summer Camp, visit their website at jamcoders.org.jm. The International Joint Conference for the Society of Economic Botany and International Society of Ethnobiology 2022 is being hosted from May 29 to June 2 under the theme Out of Many, One People, Biocultural Diversity Across Borders. This week, Camille Reed, Public Relations Officer at the Mona campus, speaks with Dr. Ina Vandebroek, an ethnobiologist here at the UWI Mona, and Dr. David Picking, Research Fellow at the Natural Products Institute, also from the UWI Mona. Dr. Picking is also chair of the conference's organizing committee. Both are here to tell us about this important and timely international joint conference.
Now, this international joint conference is being hosted by two particular organizations. I'm going to ask you to take turns in telling me about these organizations. Let's start with the Society for Economic Botany.
Sure. So the Society for Economic Botany, this is actually going to be their 61st annual meeting. So they meet every other year outside the US, but they are, as we've said, an international society. And SEB is very much, or the Society of Economic Botany is very much about plants and human relationships with plants. And they set out to explore the uses of and the relationships of plants, cultures, and the environment. And one of their catchphrases is our research and education may well be called the science of survival, which is particularly and increasingly relevant, obviously, in today's environment.
And Dr. Vandebroek, could you tell me about the International Society for Ethnobiology?
The ISE, our International Society of Ethnobiology, overlaps in its mission with the other society that Dr. Picking introduced, but it also expands on the mission of the Society for Economic Botany. They identify themselves, the ISE does, as an alliance for biocultural diversity. So exploring these links, these important relationships between nature and culture. What this second society also has, in addition to the other one, is that they have an important mission of activism. So they consider themselves a global network, a collaborative network of people and institutions working to preserve these very essential links between humans, human societies, and the natural world.
And the conference objectives, can you tell me a little bit about those?
So the title of the conference is Out of Many, One People, Biocultural Diversity Across Borders. So here you see the word biocultural diversity again. So it is really two societies coming together. One may be focused a little bit more on people and the other society a little bit more on plants, but both want to explore these essential links between nature and culture. And in the conference that we are putting together, the symposium teams that we selected, there are 12, and they're organized according to 8 of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So when we talk about people and plants, nature and culture, that has relevance for human survival on Earth. So we have these symposium teams, we have these Sustainable Development Goals. 8 of them we selected. I'll briefly summarize them. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, gender equality, climate action, life below water, life on land, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. So we're covering a broad range of topics and themes.
Dr. Ina Vandebroek, an ethnobiologist, and Dr. David Picking, research fellow at the Natural Products Institute, both with the UWI-MONA, speaking about the 2022 International Joint Conference of the Society for Economic Botany and International Society of Ethnobiology. We'll hear more from them after the break, but first let's take a look at our campus calendar. Calling all parents of a child or children who have an interest in marine life. The UWI's Discovery Bay Marine Lab, our premier facility dedicated to supporting research and the teaching of biology, chemistry, ecology, geology, hydrology, and geography in St. Anne, will be hosting the Summer Eco Camp 2022. The camp is for children between the ages of 8 to 17 years. Children aged 8 to 11 years will be hosted from July 10 to 15. Children 12 to 14 will be hosted from July 7 to 22, and teens aged 15 to 17 years will be hosted from July 24 to 29. For more information, contact the Discovery Bay Marine Lab at dbml.ecocamp@gmail.com or call 876-973-2241. We now return to Dr. Ina Vandebroek, an ethnobiologist, and Dr. David Picking, research fellow at the Natural Products Institute, both with the UWI-MONA, as they tell us more about the 2022 International Joint Conference of the Society for Economic Botany and International Society of Ethnobiology and the role of the conference in the region's food security.
Now, how will the conference be advancing the dialogue for some of the development goals that you just spoke about?
I guess we could speak to some of the, as Dr. Vandebroek said, we could speak to the symposia and how they're arranged around each of those 8 sustainable development goals. So if I was to take, for example, Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is good health and well-being. So one of our symposia is the symposium looking at primary healthcare and ethnomedicine. So we will have speakers in that session talking in detail about the role of ethnomedicines in different regions across the globe, and how in some countries ethnomedicines have been very successfully integrated into primary healthcare or reintegrated into primary healthcare, given that traditional medicines have in many ways been around for thousands of years. So that's one of the symposiums, for example, that fits into that sustainable development goal.
I'll highlight another, and it's a very popular symposium theme. We have received many abstract submissions for that theme, and that is Sustainable Development Goal 2, Zero Hunger. And the 2 symposium themes that we have that relate to this Sustainable Development Goal are agrobiodiversity and food security. and ethno-cuisines. Ethno-cuisines meaning the cultural cuisines of different countries or different communities. We also collaborate with indigenous people a lot in our work. So, for example, Jamaica's national dish, ackee and saltfish, is an example of an ethno-cuisine. So that's Sustainable Development Goal 2, Zero Hunger. There's also Life on Land, which is a broad sustainable development goal. It's Sustainable Development Goal 15. And again, we have 2 symposium themes there. The first one is Caribbean Ethnobotany. So here you hear the word again, ethno, people, botany, plants. Everything that has to do with the culture of people using plants in the Caribbean. And the other symposium theme is biodiversity conservation, which you can hear it from our topics. We're really trying to tackle environmental crises, but also crises of human well-being and of health.
And this conference is scheduled for May 29th to June 2, 2022. Could you tell me, either of you could tell me about, the kind of persons who might be interested in the event, who should attend, and how they could register for this event?
Sure. It's worth starting out by saying, the people that are coming, that we know that are already coming to the conference, are coming from a diverse number of countries. I think at the last count, we had at least 20 different countries. From Thailand, China, South Africa, Cameroon, India, Canada, Europe, Italy, Norway, and then closer to home, Mexico, Brazil, Trinidad, and Tobago. So we're very much hoping that our local delegates will be able to gain significant value from interacting with people from a number of different countries and operating at very, very different levels across all of those different countries. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to host this international conference here in Jamaica. So the organizing committee are reaching out to a broad spectrum of local entities and professionals, organizations, to really come to the conference, to mix with people from a number of different countries and to really actively participate in the conference.
Research Fellow at the Natural Products Institute, Dr. David Picking, and ethnobotanist Dr. Ina Vandebroek, both with the UWI Mona, speaking with Camille Reed, Public Relations Officer at the Mona campus, about the upcoming International Joint Conference of the Society for Economic Botany and International Society of Ethnobiology, being hosted from May 29 to June 2 under the theme Out of Many, One People, Biocultural Diversity Across Borders. For more information on this conference, visit www.econbot.org. And that's On Campus for today. To stay connected to the UWI Mona, home of the Pelicans, or to apply to UWI Mona, visit us online at www.mona.uwi.edu or like our official Facebook page at www.facebook.com/UWI Mona. The University of the West Indies, inspiring excellence, producing leaders. If you have suggestions for this program, please contact the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications Office, University of the West Indies, Mona, Kingston 7, or email us at marketing.communications@uwimona.edu.jm. On Campus was produced by Camille Reed. I am Sean Mokien. On Campus is a production of the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications Office of the University of the West Indies Mona and is recorded in the Media Lab of the University Archives at the UWI Regional Headquarters.